No.
Hi, mate.
Cheers.
Anybody want to kick us off? James?
What was said at half time? What did you change?
Honestly, not so much. So in the end, I didn't think there was a tactical thing in the first half. So to be honest, we played in possession a good first half. We created also a lot of chances, and of course against the ball, it was missing the intensity. It was missing to win the personal duels. It was missing to be ruthless and have more like winning the ball in their half, and that was what we missed in the first half, and that's what we said also in the halftime, that we have to be like, we have to fulfill the match plan with more intensity. We have to gain our self-confidence back by making the small things right, by focusing on the small things we can control, and like this they gained the self-confidence back. And if you have the self-confidence, you get in the flow. And they worked hard for this flow, but in the end, they used the flow to create it and to score these goals.
And Poster probably thought his team got complacent. Did you feel maybe they underestimated you?
I'm not really interested if they underestimate us or not. So in the end, it's a Premier League game, and it's always tough to win these Premier League games, no matter against who you play. And I said to my team before, it's possible to win against every team if you trust your own quality, if you believe in yourself, and if you show the right reaction. And exactly that's what my team made in the second half. And I think we completely deserved the win.
You go into the international break now, 6th in the league. How do you assess this opening period in the season, and indeed your tenure, and does it change your overall goals for this season?
So in the end, I don't judge the performances from the team by the results, because in the end I'm completely convinced that if you trust the process, if you try to focus on the process, the results will come. And in the process, it's normal to have like up and downs, and we had a small down. When we look at the results, I think the performances were good so far. Of course, against Chelsea, it was not the best performance, but we learned from it, and the performance beside this game were quite good. And that's why it's very important not to focus too much on the results, because like I said, I think they will come if you work hard, if you try to win the day, if you try to improve individually and as a group, and learn from these games, because actually we can also learn a lot from this game today. We learned a lot from the Chelsea away game, and that's also part of the process to keep learning.
Yeah. Early in the season, but you are 6th. Do you feel that's a position you deserve and you can maintain going forward?
Again, I think the league is so competitive. You have to work hard for the momentums. You have to, when you have momentum, yes, so you have to use these momentums. And again, when we look at the performances, they were quite good. Now it's about keep improving, try to focus on the process and not too much on the results, and then we see what will happen. But of course, I have a lot of trust and belief in the potential of the team.
You said it wasn't a tactical thing in the first half, so the halftime change was just to be a bit more solid defensively. What was the reason behind it?
No, just fulfill the plan with more energy, and be more ruthless and be more intense, because in the end it's exactly what Tottenham did the first half, playing more intense than us, and we weren't ready for this. And out of these things we have to learn. And actually I'm really proud how the team reacted, because also in the halftime they take the responsibility, they showed character, they showed personality, and the reaction was great in the second half.
Brian?
Fabian, does somebody stand up and say words apart from yourself all the time?
I think it's very important to keep some things internal, but like I said, we have great characters in the team, and in the end it's my responsibility to help the team to stay positive, to find the right words, to find the right solutions. But to be honest, it was the players' game in the second half, so they deserved it. They worked hard. They were more ruthless. They were more intense in the second half, and they worked hard for the goals. And also how they defended in the second half was much better than in the first half.
You mentioned the word self-confidence. Did you feel that had taken a dip at half time, and what will that second half do for self-confidence?
So if you're 2-0 down, you can't be the most self-confident person in the stadium. I think that's clear. But especially in these moments, it's like staying mentally stable and strong and try to win it back by the small things and focus on the things you can control. But because if you completely lose your mind in these moments, you can't focus on the plan, and you can't focus on the small little things you can influence. And that's what the players did. And the win the personal use, they come more in these personal use in the second half. They play with more energy, and then you also win the crowd back. And that's what I also said to the team: we have to use the crowd more, and you can only get it back by our energy on the pitch. And I think that was the thing that brought back the self-confidence mentally.
Months into the season now, what have you learned from your players so far over those 2 months, and especially today?
I learned that, but I knew it already before, that they're great characters and great players, and they're very quick and adapting small little things. So we got smashed last weekend by Chelsea. We learned out of it, and they show personality today. And I think to win Premier League games, it's not easy. It's about having the momentum, keeping the momentum, and using it. And in all these games we always had the momentum. We didn't use it all the time, and that's what especially and generally learned to work hard for momentum. And if you have it, you have to use it.
Sam.
Just on Mitoma, how pleased were you with his performance? It seems to be back to his best.
Okay, and I'm not the biggest fan about talking about the individual performance. I think all the 4 offensive players had a great performance. I'm not judging them by doing goals or making assists. I'm judging them how they work against the ball and how hard they work when they lose the ball. And I think in the first half it wasn't good enough from all of them. In the second half they showed, like the whole team, a good reaction. And for Mitoma, I think he had a long injury, so he's still trying to get back to his best shape. But we will help him, and I'm sure he will be there quick.
What was the kind of the half-time substitute of just getting that coming for that company? Are you happy with the way that works?
So I think, especially in the second half, what Purvis played was the Purvis I saw how he played, I think, 1 year ago before his injury. So he made a great performance. He come in, he played with energy, he played with intensity, he played with quality, and like this, he's a very important player for us. But also for him, you need to give him time. You know, he came out of a long injury, a bad injury. He played so many games before this injury, and then the injury happens, and now it's about us to take care of him. And the same is for Ferdy. So he came in here, he has a tough start. He tries to adapt to the Premier League. It's not so easy for new players and young players to adapt to the Premier League, and we need to help him, not only for the new players, also for the players who came back after an injury. And that's why it's our responsibility to give them the environment where they can adapt and can improve.
Andy?
How much you mentioned the forward attacking players today, and I was coming back, Ruda came on late in his debut, Solly March played in the under 20 Winchester. Evan Ferguson, how much comfort does it give you to have such a range of attacking options even in a game when you're 2-0 down?
Yeah, it's good to have all these options, because not only for me to make the right substitutes or to change a dynamic of the game by different types of offensive players we have, it's also good for them to compete during the trainings week. And for me, competition is like that you always need to be better than your teammate, and that's about like being the best version of yourself all the time. And if you have competition, I think you always improve, and that's also a very positive thing by having these options.
What's the situation of that? We're running out of central defenders.
Yeah, so I trust my medical department. They will do a good job. They did a good job so far. So we don't know it yet. We have to make a scan, and then we have a clear situation about him. But again, I completely trust my medical department, and they will do a great job to bring the defenders back as quick as possible.
Well done.
What was the injury for Webster?
I think a little bit muscle injury. I don't know exactly where it is.